Welcome to the Orange Coast College Transfer Admission Guarantee Workshop. Today we'll be going over a few things related to the University of California Transfer Admission Guarantee. First, we'll discuss what is TAG, which campuses participate in TAG, when you file your application, so the timeline, the criteria to qualify for TAG, how to apply, so we'll go over some TAP account specifics and tips. So what is the TAG agreement? The Transfer Admission Guarantee offers California community college students a guarantee admission to one of the 6 participating UC campuses based on specific requirements. It's designed as a program for well-qualified applicants, so anyone can apply to any of the UCs during the regular filing periods. The well-qualified applicants that meet each campus-specific TAG requirements can submit an application a little bit earlier for the Transfer Admission Guarantee. The 6 participating UC campuses include UC Davis, Santa Cruz, Irvine, Santa Barbara, Riverside, and Merced. For the fall 2019 entry application filing period for the University of California, the requirements for TAG for all campuses are as follows. As mentioned before, this is only a program designed for California community college students, so you cannot apply to TAG if you already possess a bachelor's degree or a graduate degree, if you have a professional degree, if you previously enrolled at a UC campus, you're not eligible if that was a regular term. And if you're currently in high school, you're not eligible for TAG. You are eligible for TAG if you've been at a California community college for at least 30 semester units of UC transferable coursework, and that the last college you attend in a regular session would be a California community college. So it wouldn't be possible, for example, to be at Orange Coast College in the fall of 2018, to transfer to a Cal State University in the spring and participate in TAG for the fall. That's not going to be a qualifying condition. So if you completed coursework at a different four-year university prior to the community college, it's important to meet with a counselor to see if your coursework at the community college plus your previous four-year university coursework meets the qualifying criteria. And there's some other specifics that you should talk to your counselor about. All right, so if you meet the eligibility requirements and you're interested in filing a TAG for the fall 2019 entry, the steps are the following. You can choose one campus to file a TAG to. So if you're eligible at 4 of the 6 campuses, for example, you'll need to select one. Then during the regular application period, you could add those additional campuses if you'd like. You would complete an online UC TAG application through the UC Transfer Application Planner. It's called TAP, and you submit that in fall 2018 during the filing period, which is always September 1st through 30th. The UC Transfer Application Planner is open for students to begin working on, and feel free to take a look at that, create your account, and then the TAG application can be submitted through that September 1st, and it closes the 30th. Once you submit your TAG application, you have to fulfill all remaining coursework and GPA requirements listed in your TAG agreement. So if you meet the TAG agreement requirements when you file and submit your application in September, the UC will go back and review to make sure you met it at the end of the fall term and then at the end of the spring term, because those are required as per the TAG agreement to be eligible throughout the whole filing period. Once you submit your TAG in September, you will need to also file your UC application, which is in the month of November. UC application opens August 1st for accounts for the fall 2019 entry period, and you can begin working on your UC application, but it won't open for submission until November 1st, and you have until the 30th. While 6 UC campuses participate and you can only choose one, we recommend that you do a little bit of research in determining not only which campus has the major you're interested in, whether or not you meet those requirements, but also the campus itself. What's the campus life like? How far away is it? What's the housing situation? Do they have activities, internships, research experience, all those things that kind of make or break a college experience experience. So we recommend you do some research, that you meet with the representatives when they come to visit us in the transfer center and at our transfer fairs, so that you have a really good idea of which campus is going to be the best fit for you. All right. Those of you interested in applying to the University of California, Santa Cruz for your TAG application, transfer admission guarantee eligibility is based on the following: 30 units of completed coursework of UC transferable units completed with a 3.0 at the end of summer. And again, UC transferable courses can be found on Assist, in the OCC catalog, and in the schedule of classes. So you want to make sure that they're transferable. Math 30, for example, is not transferable, nor is Math 120. When we're looking at those classes, they're going into your non-transferable GP for the University of California. They also are looking for specific completion dates for your English and math courses, because those are areas of concern for them. So they want your first UC required transferable English course, which at OCC would be English 100, and your one UC required math course done by the end of fall. Your second English course can be completed by the end of spring, and that second English class would meet the critical thinking requirement, which is here at OCC English 101, 102, 109, or Philosophy 150. So they're looking that you demonstrate adequate progress in English and math. UC Santa Cruz does screen for major preparation in some, but not all majors. And so the areas that they screen are in biological sciences, chemistry and biochemistry, cognitive science, economics, environmental studies, physics, psychology, sociology, and all engineering major options. Again, they're asking students to double-check requirements by visiting both the UC Santa Cruz website, where they indicate TAG information, and also assist.org, so you can really be well versed on the courses that are required from Orange Coast College to UC Santa Cruz and whether they meet the minimum requirements. If you're applying for any of the majors in the School of Engineering or any of the selecting majors, then your choice of major is guaranteed. If you're applying to a major that is not screening for major preparation, which you can find this list on the UC Santa Cruz website, then your choice of major is not guaranteed, meaning your transfer admission guarantee contract would be a guarantee of admission to Santa Cruz, but not necessarily your specific major. Please see your transfer counselor if you have any questions about that. And then the last criteria for Santa Cruz is that you complete your last 30 units by the end of the spring with the required GPA. So they'll be checking and making sure all applicants meet that 3.0 GPA. So if we visit the UC Santa Cruz website regarding TAG, we can take a look at how it's structured. So they have information for 2018 and a flyer for 2019, which is a PDF. So it looks like they're in the process of updating their website. So please check back. And they're giving the step-by-step process for applying to TAG, the eligibility that we just reviewed, and then the major preparation selection criteria, which is probably the most helpful section on this website, where you find your major and make sure that you have met the specific requirements. So for example, if we look at the psychology major, we see the criteria that they lay out: a minimum grade of B- in a course articulated to Santa Cruz Psych 1, Introduction to Psychology, or an AP score of 4 or 5. If you earned a grade of C, a student must earn a B in a course articulated to Santa Cruz Psych 10, Intro to Developmental Bio, in order to qualify. They also want grade of B- or better in a course that's equivalent to their Psych 2, which is a statistics course, and then a C or better in a pre-calculus course. These, of course, are the UC Santa Cruz course numbers that you're looking at on their website, so it's important to also consult assist.org to find the OCC equivalents or the equivalents at any of the other California community colleges. At the time you submit your TAG, you must have completed at least the introductory psych course from the number 1 above with the B or better or the qualifying AP score. All the other courses for this particular major can be in progress through the end of the spring term. Again, this is just the psychology example, so it's important to look at the major of your interest before making your final decision whether to apply to Santa Cruz for TAG. Okay, so just as a comparison of the campuses, because sometimes the qualifying English and math can be the determining factor whether someone's eligible or not for TAG, we'll take a look at the completion of the English. Most of the schools give you to the end of fall to complete your first one, but there are some exceptions, and so Santa Cruz wants the first one done in the fall, the second one by the end of spring, whereas Santa Barbara wants both courses done by the end of fall. So you want to take a look at that chart to make sure that you're on track to complete the English. Same thing with the math. You'll see that Irvine is the pickiest in terms of both English and math, and that your first English and math need to be done by the end of summer to be eligible. Okay, so make sure that that doesn't kick you out of eligibility. If it does, find a campus whose policies more closely match your coursework that you've completed. Next, as we compare, basically just a listing of the minimum units at each of the TAG participating schools that need to be done when you submit the TAG. Since TAG is submitted in the month of September, that means by the end of summer, the qualifying GPA. You'll notice all UCs require 30 units, but Santa Barbara is the one that places a limitation on how many of those units can be pulled from AP, IB, and A-level units that are awarded, and in the case of Santa Barbara, it's 10 plus 10.6 semester units. The right-hand column has the minimum GPA required for TAG. In most cases, the GPAs are above a 3.2. There are a few exceptions where students can be eligible for TAG and therefore guaranteed to the UC system at the campus that has that major and GPA qualifying score. And so taking a look at where you are most competitive and filing a TAG there. The next part is whether or not the TAG guarantees the major. TAG is designed for admission to that UC campus, and in most cases it is also a guarantee into the major that you've selected on the application, but there are some exclusions, and it's important to make sure that you understand that by visiting the website and checking all the requirements very carefully before deciding to submit your application. So it's important to remember that even if after reviewing these you realize that although you may be on track to complete everything by the end of spring, you are missing some qualifying component of the TAG, that you can still apply to any and all UC campuses as a non-TAG applicant in the month of November. So TAG again is for well-qualified applicants, and each campus declares what is well-qualified. If you don't meet those but you're on track to meet the other requirements, we encourage you to apply to the UC campuses. Also, there's only 6 participating UC campuses for TAG, so the mechanism to apply to the non-participating campuses, which would be UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UC San Diego, is to file your UC requirement in the month of November, making sure that you're checking assist.org for those schools as well to make sure you have the required major preparation. Okay, so once you've determined that you seem to be on track for your TAG, you can start the application process. As mentioned, you can submit in September, but you can begin working on this application right away. Transfer Admission Planner, or TAP, is the mechanism through which you apply. It's a tool on the UC admission website that all students can use, and it's where you'll submit your TAG application during September. So you have to create a TAP account, and then you can save your username and password and log on and off as many times as possible. The great thing about this TAP account is that if you put in all your coursework, and if your coursework's been taken out of California Community College, even if it's more than one, it will calculate your UC transferable GPA for you. So before pressing submit, you can decide whether or not you're eligible based on that GPA calculation. So you want to create that account as soon as possible, and once you've created your account, you'll want to input all your information that it asks for. You'll want to have on hand test score information, your unofficial transcripts from every school attended, and your biographical information, and also the majors that you're interested in applying to. And again, you can do this in more than one sitting, so if you want to just get the account started and start your personal profile information, then you can pick up the rest of it another day. When you get to the UC Transfer Admission Planner home page, there'll be a place where you can log in if you're a returning student. If you're not, you'll go ahead and go to the New Student section and create an account for TAG, or TAP, excuse me. tag lives inside of TAP. And so once you actually have your account, you'll use the navigation across the top and fill out each section. You'll do my information. My messages would be any communication from OCC Transfer Center or any of the UC campuses, giving any pertinent or valuable information. My coursework, that part's going to take you the longest. They ask you to go in and enter every single course you've ever taken at the community college. My exams, you'll only need to fill that out if you have exams that you would like to report. If you have AP exams, you want to report those. If not, you don't have to report that. So that might be lengthy or quick depending on your background. There's an opportunity to review, and then on September 1st, you'll be able to click the Apply for TAG button. The nice thing about the UC TAP is that they have an instructional video that kind of takes you step by step through the website. A few tips along the way would be that when you're entering in coursework, the UC has basically linked with the ASSIST database. So any California Community College transferable UC course is going to kind of self-populate. So you'll put the year and the term you took a course, and then you can search for it by department or subject. If the course doesn't appear, for example, you're looking for Math 30 or Math 120 or English 99, at the very bottom you'll scroll to the bottom and say I don't see my course, and then you can manually enter it. So just because it doesn't appear on the drop-down list does not mean you cannot report it. You need to report everything. You need to report all coursework ever attempted, even if there's no grades or no GPA, even if they're W's. You'll want to report your entire history. If there's any gaps in your education from the time you graduated from high school to now, the UC asks you to explain what you were doing during that time where you were not enrolled in a regular term at a college. They don't include summers as a regular term. So you can take a look at that and start poking around the TAG application, looking at the instructional video or the help screens as needed. After you do that, you'll kind of give it a once through, and in September, sometime between the 1st and 30th, you're going to submit your TAG application. If you choose UC Davis or Santa Cruz, you will need to make an appointment with an OCC counselor to verify prior to your submission. So those appointments are requiring that you've done a couple of things. So one of them is doing one of the two options for the workshop, so an in-person TAG workshop or this online video workshop. The other thing is that you have your TAP planner submitted. So during that appointment, if you have any questions about the TAP planner or you're stuck on something, that would also be the mechanism to get those questions answered. If you're applying to any other campuses, appointments will be a little bit more limited, but we encourage you to use walk-in for those schools because those UC campuses do not require that a counselor pre-review or verify your information. As noted before, TAG application is your first step. You'll also then do the UC application in the month of November. There's no fee to file your TAG application, and again, you pick one TAG school. During the month of November, usually between the 1st and 15th, you're going to be notified about your TAG decision from the campus you selected. When your TAG is approved, it's basically just saying that they've done a pre-review, everything looks to be on track, and that if you do your part by completing all the coursework, your GPA staying where it needs to be for that qualifying criteria for your major in campus, then they will do their part and honor that agreement. So they will do a double check on your progress on that TAG at all periods throughout. So they will do a final check once you submit your final transcripts. So they will double check, make sure then that if anything changes of what you told them, that you notify your TAG campus so that they can see if that impacts your TAG at all. Hopefully it won't, but sometimes there are situations where it might impact your TAG. If you're dropping a major prep course, that might very well impact it. Doesn't mean that the UC won't review your application as a regular applicant, but it may void your TAG. So when you're planning your courses, be really careful that you're not overloading yourself or trying to fit in something that really seems difficult given your past history, your work commitments, things like that. Also in November, you'll be submitting your UC application for the same major You'll also be doing the personal insight questions, so the Transfer Center does have some workshops on the personal insight questions. Those are basically, instead of personal essays, they have three essays that you can choose from a list of 7, and then one additional essay that all transfer students must answer, and that is about what your intended major is and why you've selected that major, how you've confirmed your interest. So 4 350-word short essays is what is required as part of the personal insight questions on your UC application. Your UC application is where you'll pay a fee for application, so you'll select your tag school and any other UC campuses you're interested in applying to. Once you submit your application in November, UC will ask you to log back into your UC application account in January and complete what they call a transfer academic update. That's where you're going to go in and list your fall grades. So on the application and on your tag application, you will have listed not only all the courses you completed, but the courses you took in the fall, or planning to take in the fall, and then also planning to take in the spring. And so you'll go back into that fall schedule and you'll put in the actual grades. That will then initiate a recalculation of the GPA, making sure that you're still qualified. That also really helps a lot of people when they do really well in the fall. Also, please remember, once your tag's fulfilled or approved, they do go back and check, so make sure your coursework and GPA requirements are met through the end of spring 2019. Reminder, tag's one path to admission. You can still apply as a non-tag applicant to any of the UCs during that month of November, so don't forget to do that. If you have questions or concerns, Transfer Center has walk-in counseling, and you can come take a look at the walk-in schedule and see if that works, what suits your needs. We do have in-person tag workshops. Some tips is to continue to research the UC campuses, digging into the major and what you'll be taking for 2 years, where the campus is located, whether transportation or internships or things like that are important to you, making sure you're identifying the campuses that are the best fit. Even if you don't have time before you submit your tag, setting up campus tours if you haven't done that. Also, the individual reps come to meet at OCC, so students can get an appointment, and or they attend our transfer fairs, and we'll have a big one in the end of September, and then another one in November is much smaller, and then a small one at the beginning of spring. The spring one really is a little too late for the applications, though, so we encourage you to do your research prior to selecting schools. The UC representative availability list, since most of them are on the quarter system, won't be available probably till sometime in September, but the UC reps, especially the ones from our local campuses, UC Irvine tends to be well represented. They come visit us quite a lot. UCLA comes to visit, as does San Diego, Riverside, and Berkeley tries to come out once in the fall. So keep your eye out on the Transfer Center website for those available representative appointments, and you can book for a 15-minute meeting with them. Any other questions that you have, we please refer you to the Transfer Center, where we're happy to assist you. Best of luck as you apply for TAG in the UCs this year.